Thunderbolts is the latest we've got from Marvel Studios. It's the 33rd in the MCU. Let me check how many movies in 35. Holy shit. Thunderbolts is the 35th film we've got from Marvel Studios. The plot reads as: ensnared in a death trap, an unconventional team of anti-heroes, Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, and John Walker embark on a dangerous mission that forces them to confront the darkest corners of their pasts. And I think that is pretty accurate. First, we're going to start out with the good, then we're going to get into some of the bad. But before I do that, I would just like to say, I went and watched Sinners last weekend in IMAX. I didn't talk about it. Jesus fucking Christ. I didn't make a video on it because everything you've heard about it already absolutely proves true. It's unique and original, incredibly well written, intriguing, entertaining. It slaps in pretty much every way and was genius from a technical standpoint. I don't want to say too much, but if you go in blind, no trailers or little knowledge like I did, you're going to have a far better experience. So go and watch it, and that's all I'm going to say. Alright, on to the Thunderbolts. I'll open by saying when it comes to being a fan of the franchise, I've taken a much more passive role when it comes to viewing what they got now. I honestly think there's just too much content, and it's obviously gone pretty downhill since Endgame, so I don't really bother with any of the Disney Plus BS. That said, going in, I was kind of worried that I wouldn't quite click with this, because I hadn't seen Black Widow or any of the shows, but honestly this film doesn't waste any time presenting the group of new faces in a way that felt very fitting to carry a feature-length film. This is a team of mostly mercenaries who are forced to work together over a common enemy, which you can tell is really the only reason why they want to work together, apart from David Harbour, who really gets to play it big as a humble, drunken Russian hero whose fatherly demeanor really worked with me, from the pretty hilarious and loud moments he gets. And like I've said this before, he's obviously a phenomenal actor, and I think he adds leagues here. His delivery was great here, and he really adds to the deeper moments he gets with his daughter Yelena, played by Florence Pugh. And I'd honestly say she was the main emotional centerpiece of this. We spend the most time with her learning her trauma, and she really got the spotlight for sure, almost to the point where I think they could have given more for Bucky, John, and the Ghost, because they all had lots to do, but were almost fighting for the spotlight, and I think they should have gone further with exploring them and their backgrounds. But I'd say almost all of these characters had some surprising depth that I wasn't expecting, since it's a little more unique thematically. Almost shockingly, there's some mature subject matter in here, such as addiction, abuse, parenting, and loneliness, which played as a huge strength for me, and I honestly think they could have gone farther with those premises as well, because I found somewhat of a moving, emotional journey beneath our action movie, and I was enjoying that. This movie isn't afraid to get a little dark with it sometimes too, though it's not quite as dark as Guardians 3. I just found it was handled with a little bit more levity, especially with this being more of a family film. The initial situation they unite in was kind of fun and intriguing, and I'm also thankful that the film takes its time to deliver a decent setup to welcome the main dilemma with Bob's character, who I quite enjoyed as essentially the second lead to this film. And I don't want to give too much away when it comes to the Sentry, but I found the way that they depicted all of his abilities was really miraculous and spectacular from a cinematic standpoint as well. When I was watching that first scene, I was thinking to myself, wow, I don't think we've ever had like a super being in the MCU before, and the way they're showing is pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat and also different. The action choreography was also pretty fun as well, along with a couple one-ers that I was sort of impressed by, but I will say there was just one or two moments where the effects budget definitely dipped in a noticeable way. Technically, some of the shots were pleasant, also the color palette was a little darker to sell the gritty vibe, obviously. And on top of that, the official score kind of goes hard. Can't lie. It's sometimes like a spy thriller, other times it's reminiscent of the Avengers theme, and can also be sort of emotional, something like a Pixar film, I don't know. Moving on to my quick complaints though, I'll start by saying, for one, there's just too many jokes. Yes, Marvel quips are back, and in full swing. They still haven't found the balance between the jokes, which honestly kind of hurt the tone in some parts. And it didn't help that my audience found this movie funnier than shit and laughing at everything, whereas I only got an audible chuckle for only 30 to 40% of the bits. But maybe it's just me, maybe I'm the grump, but I'd like to think that that's just the audience you're getting on an opening night for a Marvel movie. Next, the first act was a little bit slow, which isn't really a complaint. It's not so bad, I didn't mind the setup, but from acts 2 to 3, it felt like something was definitely missing. Act 2 just starts, then it just rushes to Act 3 and the final conflict, definitely fast-tracking things, leaving me a little bit confused with the timeline. Then when the movie ends, it's just way too abrupt. It's pretty much just, hey look everybody, it's the Thunderbolts, the conflict's over, they saved the day. The end. Did they run out of money? I don't know. I'm at least glad this was only 2 hours, but I was just a little bit surprised. And my last complaint, I think the plot just kind of gradually got more and more predictable throughout leading up until the end. But I think if you're a Marvel fan, you're still going to enjoy this one just fine. Thanks to some actual emotional moments. It's got a lot to say, and it didn't need to go that route, but it totally did. I liked it. But what's keeping me from loving it is that I think that they could have gone just a little further, gotten a little weirder in the finale too, maybe. And its biggest problem is they could have really gone either way. They could have dipped more into the espionage thriller aspects of it, or more of the emotional heart. But in the end, it doesn't really stick to either. I still had fun with Thunderbolts, Asterix, and for that I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Also, stick around for the end credits. If you're a Marvel fan, I think you're going to enjoy the comic booky teaser that we got. It's been a while, but hey, I can say I'm finally kind of stoked to see what's coming next. And that's a good feeling. You know what's not a good feeling, though? Being a gamer today. GTA 6, delayed to over a year from right now. Not okay. What the fuck? You can lick my nuts. Rockstar. More on that. Games jumping from $90 to $110. Old consoles going up $200 in prices, thanks to the Nintendo bitch 2 crashing into the market as a whopping $700 console. Let's not forget to mention their games costing over $100. I've always hated them for leaving the last gen games at $80 full price games for the last 8 fucking years. But now if you want the Switch, even after you break your ass to get one, you're gonna be paying $100 for those games. And for most of them, you're not even gonna be owning them. They don't want you to own physical copies of your games. Nintendo or not, apparently, because now Xbox is hopping on this trend, and it's just a matter of time before this is the new norm. So thank you, Nintendo. Thank you, Xbox. Thank you, greed. Thank you, corporate greed. We're done. Okay, something's got to change. But you know what? It's not all bad for games right now. Obviously, Oblivion has been amazing so far for everybody, and Expedition 33 looks pretty cool. That's what I'll say. But comment below if you want me to get into it more, if you just want me to talk more about games. Right now, I've been pretty into Baldur's Gate, but whatever. Whatever you thought of that, or my video, or Thunderbolts, comment below. Comment below if you've enjoyed, or if you want to yap movies, or just anything you think, got criticisms, I'd be happy to see them. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for liking if you did, commenting and sharing, subscribing if you like. Thank you. I appreciate it. Remember to wash your hands, slap that seatbelt on, and stay black. All right. See you in the next one. Later.